Well, everybody, today we are tarp and bivvy camping testing. So, this is the alpkit Rig 7 tarp and the alpkit LAN bivvy. This tent tarp combination gives you a reasonable amount of space, along with a reasonable amount of comfort. It uses a trekking pole with a guy line to stake it out, and then you stake it out with just some basic pegs. I've just used some basic Rango pegs to peg it out, and this is probably one of the most basic forms of pitching, but we're going to give it a little test tonight. There's a bit of wind, but nothing that should take it down because it's been pretty windy all night and it's fairly sturdy, so yeah. Now, what about the bivvy? The alpkit LAN. It's staked out pretty nicely. Oh yeah. As you can see, it's got some good poles, and then behind that it's got a ventilation flap. So it's a very basic bivvy. So tonight we're going to be giving this whole thing a test. I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to make your bivvy experience the best that it can possibly be as well. So with that out of the way, I'll return once it's getting dark. Everyone just waiting for the opportune moment to get out there. Just going to sit here and do nothing for just a minute or two. Just contemplating life. And I'll see you out there soon. Well, it's nice and snug in here. We've got a cuppa ready to be made. So I'm going to pour this now, and it's going to be nice and hot. So that's all I need. Well, everybody, we've brewed up. Well, by that I mean I've poured some hot water and I've put some milk and sugar inside the tea. So I'm just going to enjoy this, and then I'll tune in afterwards. Well, it's quite literally the opposite of spacious in here, but, you know, I've got a reasonable bit of headspace. Got my pillow in here and everything. Pretty much just like sleeping in a sleeping bag, and at the current temperature, didn't need my sleeping bag at all, just slept on top of it. Well, we've got a couple of ventilation systems in here, so don't think you'd suffocate in here. But I'm sweating bullets in here. It's pretty early, so I'm gonna get out now because I am sweating to death. It might not suffocate me, but it might overheat me, so let's get out. I was pretty much roasted live by this morning, but it's quite comfortable. I stayed in wasn't actually inside of the bivvy until a bit later. I think there were a few splashes of rain in the night, because got a bit of water on it here, but fairly sure it's fully waterproofed. Anyway, for the rest of the video, I believe we're going to go and test out this tarp up somewhere in the rain. I think be interesting if we do. Not positive. This might be the end of the video. Possibly. We'll see how things go. Well, that rain is heavy. The outer bit seems to be filling up with water, but it's not leaking through, so that's good. There it is down there. I'm up in my bedroom. I bet you can hear it. This is definitely the heaviest rain, I think, that any piece of equipment has ever taken. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's filling up with a bit of rain, filling up with water there, but it's not seeping through. But yeah. The bivvy itself is a 10,000mm hydrostatic head, so that shouldn't leak, even if the tarp does. That's pretty insane. I can't really imagine it would be the most comfortable thing to be out in a bivvy in this sort of weather. I feel like a tarp and bivvy is more for fair weather camping. I think it's alright, probably alright in wind as well. But this, if you can hear that, that's pretty intense actually. A little bit worried because I've never tested it in rain before, but let's hope it holds up. Anyway, now I'm going to give you some tips on bivvy camping, how to make it enjoyable. Firstly, make sure to take a tarp with you, because you don't want this much rain hitting your bivvy. Be a pain in the ass trying to sleep with this going on. At least in a tarp. With a tarp, you're going to be a bit drier. But in this weather, I would recommend something like the Panacea, the Wild Country Panacea, the Helm, any sort of Hilleberg tent, Terra Nova, they do good tents, you know. But like this is some serious weather. Good thing we weren't out wild camping today, because that would have been interesting. I think it's supposed to stop at some point, so I'll see you again then for another tip as well. Well, I may as well actually give a couple more now. You probably could do with some sort of seat and some sort of table under a tarp, especially if it's going to rain a bit, because the grass could get a bit wet. So having a seat and a table is quite nice, and also make sure to have the ability to brew up some tea as well, because who doesn't like a good bit of hot tea in a storm? And hot food, I suppose, just as good. I'm actually going to open the window a crack so that you can really hear what it's like. Listen to that. Can you see it out there? Yeah. Look at that. It's taking a bit of a beating. Well, everybody, it rained pretty much all day. As you can see, water's started to gather, flying, weirdly enough. You can actually sort of see through it. Intriguing. The fly is pretty damp. Let me just knock some of that off real quick. It's not gathered too much on the other side. But if we look inside, I think it's dry. So not only is the top of the tarp not wet, the bivvy itself and even the ground is still dry inside of here. So I think this is a success. My conclusion is that the alpkit Rig 7 is indeed waterproof. Thank you for watching the video. Bye-bye.